one. We know he pled not guilty. What else do we know?
Well, not a lot. The former president and Walt Nauta have both been released on their own recognizance, no bond, no other preconditions. There will be no restrictions on their travel, either internationally or domestically. The one condition, and it's something that's still going to have to be worked out here, is a limited no contact order that the judge ordered put in place here. This was not something the prosecution asked for, but rather an order directly from the judge that there be a list put together of witnesses and victims that Mr. Trump not be allowed to contact except through counsel for the duration of this case. There was some back and forth between the attorneys and the judge about this. The defense attorneys pointing out that most of the witnesses they believe exist in this case are people who work for Donald Trump or who are part of his protective detail, like in the Secret Service. So what they landed on here was that the government's going to put together a list of witnesses just with that limit that Mr. Trump not contact them about the specifics of the case, and that list would include Walt Nauta, his co-defendant. The former president, unlike in the previous arraignment, the New York City arraignment, was already in the room by the time reporters were brought into the room. He sat between his two co-counsel, arms tightly folded across his chest for the duration of the hearing. I was sitting about 2 rows behind Jack Smith, the special counsel who was watching the entire proceedings quite intently. I don't believe he and Mr. Trump ever made eye contact of any kind, but not quite an hour, or excuse me, a little more than, not quite an hour since we got underway here in this hearing, and now Mr. Trump released on his own recognizance, again, with just that one element here, that limited no contact order for witnesses or victims in this case.
Now, very briefly, as we wrap up here, Garrett, how does that happen? Walt Nauta's job is to be the personal aide, doing all sorts of very personal things for Donald Trump. How can they
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. And that's what... That's right, Andrea. So the contact will be limited to no discussion about the facts of the case. Look, it's going to be very difficult to police this, I think, going forward here. But the prosecutors were pretty open-minded about the idea that, again, this was not even a condition that they asked for. This was something that the judge put in place. They said the list beyond Nauta would be very limited to the number of people who Mr. Trump, again, could only not talk about the specifics of this case. They acknowledged that he's going to have to talk every day with employees at his various residences and with his protective detail, all of whom are thought to be witnesses in this case.
When is the next court appearance set?
That was not decided today. The next court appearance for Walt Nauta is the only piece of this that we know, because he did not have a co-counsel that could, or counsel that could speak before the Florida bar, basically. We did not have his full arraignment today. I do not have a next court appearance set for Donald Trump. Remember, this is going to get handed off. The judge who oversaw this, the magistrate judge, his involvement in this case ended the minute this hearing was over. So no next court appearance set for now.
We are seeing what appears to be Donald Trump's motorcade leaving the courthouse right now. We know things have finished up because we were able to get Garrett Haake in front of a camera, which means